new rich countries or the newly developed countries or developing countries, the BRIC in particular, China, Russia, Brazil, India, and with increasing technological know-how being available across the continents, that this whole competitive advantage business is now changing. So, frankly, the firm of the future will have to assimilate and create a new paradigm shift. And this paradigm shift cannot rely on those old competitive advantages. To my mind, the new paradigm is going to be people-driven. The core of this whole thing is going to be people. And the answer is going to be simple. It's going to be people. It's going to be processes that make these people perform. And they've got to create customer delight. Customer delight is the new buzzword. What did the great legendary Jobs do? Steve Jobs? Well, he created customer delight. Product after product after product. And it was people-driven. It was created by people. There was a process of innovation, process of research, process of these people creating something new that created customer delight that led to corporate governance improving. And this corporate governance and this new paradigm is got to envelop more than just money making. I think corporate social responsibility will also be at the core of this. And it's not just going to be philanthropy. The so-and-so firm put up so-and-so hospital. No, it's got to be more. It's got to be concern for the environment, for preservation, for conservation, AIDS awareness, such social issues, not just assimilating these values of philanthropy, which is important, but I think the responsible firm is going to have to do more. Now, how are companies, to my mind, and Arif Ijaz was mentioned. Arif is an old friend of mine, childhood friend of mine, and he's in fact helping us also create this change in one of our own companies, and we're already getting successful results out of it. And what is the paradigm shift that we want to adopt? And again, we are doing it with the same people, Kamran. There are no new people. It's the same people. Some are old, some are new, some are middle-aged. But we are trying to show them a different way of doing things. How do you do that? You know, if you look at the old firm, the idea was that you had this fantastic CFO, or you had this fantastic operations man, or you had this fantastic marketing guy, and he was the head of the department, and they lived in their own little shells. I think the new firm, or the new concept, certainly we are trying to adopt this, is going to be a firm which is team-driven. We are not really interested in stars. Shahid Afridi is fine, but if we did a matrix and examined how many matches he lost to how many matches he won, I reckon we're going to probably find he lost more matches because he was trying to be the star than if he played as a team. And so what we are trying to say is that we don't want these wonder boys and girls. We want cross-functionality. We want a firm that if it's energy, there's team energy. And team energy will then get together with all the facets that it envelops, which is money, which is processes, operations, logistics, and they will create a new paradigm. So I think the new firm is going to create intellectually aware individuals that are able to not just work vertically, but also horizontally. And this is going to be, I think, the new firm. And we will have results coming out of this experience or this experiment in the next 3 or 4 years, 3 years maybe. And I'm quietly optimistic that we will actually have very good results coming out of it. Now, along with this, and I go back to my original theme, and that is this, that if we want to create a a sustainable human resource, then we've got to spend a lot of money on training. And my problem is that we invest a lot of money buying new machines, but we don't spend enough money training people. And if responsible firms, the new firm, doesn't set aside a certain percentage of their income, or I don't know what the guiding principles will be, certain amount of turnover or whatever. The successful firm spends a lot of money on training and a lot of money on developing human resource. We don't. And I think that increasingly the successful firm is going to have to not rely on so-and-so star, well, this guy is a very good CEO, let's get him or her, but to actually create across the length and breadth of their companies a human resource that is able to function as a team with cross-functionality, and that's going to be the new team concept that HR. And at the core of all this, the sounding board for all this, I think, is going to be the HR department. You know, when I was a young executive, HR was actually not called HR, it was called personnel and administration, which means that they're the guys that decided whether you got a new car or not. They're the ones that decided if there was a favorite, well, his home would be serviced better than the guy they didn't like, and that sort of thing. And they were the thanedars, you know, the SHOs of the organization. Well, they've got to change that. That's completely different role now. I think what HR is going to do now is going to be the sounding board and is going to be driving these teams and going to be the sounding board for this cross-functional activity. Well, we're trying it, and we're very hopeful it's going to create a better firm. And over time, we won't just be creating marketing executives or finance executives or production specialists, but highly mobilized intellectual capital that views the company as a holistic activity, and is well versed in making macro level strategy. But as I said, I think that I'm quietly optimistic that people are changing, that the entrepreneur in Pakistan is also changing. And I think in many, many ways, you as professionals also have to drive that change. You've got to drive that change in your organizations and make the owner realize that if his son or daughter are not really